So NASCAR, and shout out to NASCAR first off, man. They've been doing some very impressive things in terms of using their voice in this whole Black Lives Matter situation, using their voice in terms of standing up to social injustice, using their voice and supporting their racers as well, their athletes. Like I spoke on the last podcast, when they dedicated space before the race for them to play that video, and then for the guys to demonstrate how they would like to demonstrate. And then also Bubba Wallace, one of the only minority drivers that is currently in the Cup Series. He's going to be driving a Black Lives Matter custom paint job car on Wednesday, which is extremely cool when you think about the NFL and how, I mean, for a while you couldn't write certain things on your on your cleats or wear certain things because they will fine you for that. So for NASCAR to allow him to do that and exercise his voice in that regard, I think that's really huge in their regard. But with NASCAR, man, the big thing that they just did, they have an announcement coming up where for 2 races, Alabama and in Florida for Daytona, I want to say, they're going to allow 1,000 fans for the race in Alabama and then 5,000 fans for the race in Daytona, which is huge. I hope I didn't flip-flop those, but that's huge in terms of being the first major sport that's going to allow fans back. Now, they are saying that they're going to test temperatures and different things along that nature, but the fact that they're allowing fans to come back in the stands, I think that's going to be huge in terms of seeing how other major sports operate from that. Also seeing what's the recourse after these fans are in there. Obviously, they're going to have to follow with them to see, okay, did anyone else get sick? How everything played out with that? But I think that's a huge step in the right direction, man.
Is NASCAR stock up right now?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, it's either stock up or they about to blow up in flames, one or the other.
Dude, it's just funny, man. Like all this, it's just so funny because all of a sudden, what was it, like a month ago?
Yeah,
you started getting NASCAR a little bit. Now all this stuff's popping with NASCAR, and they're just, it seems like they're playing chess, you know?
Right, rightfully so, man. When I tell you they are receiving the attention they deserve, man, I'm extremely impressed because let's be real about it. When you're talking about NASCAR, we all know the stigma or the perception that goes along with that in terms of their fan base and in terms of the racers. But when you're watching how NASCAR is operated through this time right now and the way they're using their voice and effectively silencing that or going against it in some cases, man, I think that's very impressive. And it's not easy to do. It's not easy to stand up and speak for what's right. It's not easy to stand up and believe in something and say, you know what, I'm going to put it out there. That's not an easy thing to do. But the fact they're doing it, I think is very impressive. And the fact that they're going to be the first major sports that's going to have fans back in the stadium, I think that's huge as well, man. I'm excited for them, man.
Combination of all that, them starting their racing, whatever it was, probably a month ago, then them using their voice and now getting the fans back. It's just,
man.
I guess hats off to them. Wow.
Absolutely. Like I said, so hopefully this goes well. Like I said, it could blow up in their face. You never know. But I'm erring on the side of it's going to be great. And I'm excited about it, man.
I definitely do too, just because you know how we've talked about it last podcast, how I feel about this whole situation. So I feel like there's no risk. I feel like it's going to be good to go.
Absolutely, man. All right. So are you going to be mad? So are you going to be mad if they have to have masks on?
I'd be disappointed. I would be disappointed. I definitely would be. But hey, man, it's whatever. It's whatever. We discuss this to each their own. Everyone's got their own thing and how they want to operate in these times. So
if it gets you in the stadium, man, that's all that matters. Period. Yeah. So I'm excited about it as the things progress. Look for me to be at one of these races soon as well, man, because you know how I feel.
I was going to say, man, with the 1,000 fans, the 5,000 fans, you want to go down and cover one of these races?
No, man. So this is my only dilemma, right? So I want to say Daytona.
I bet you they're sold out too.
Oh, I ain't where you know.
No. What I mean is just from a business standpoint. It's
absolutely
having things being scarce. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants it now.
Absolutely, but this is my issue. I think the race is on the 21st. I have to see if that's Alabama or Daytona. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. My problem is this, okay? And I'm gonna let y'all indulge into my personal life. We got a big trip booked to Hawaii. It's a bucket list thing. I always wanted to go to Hawaii, so we got this thing planned out. It's absolutely coming up. It's coming up. Like dead serious. Like July 1st. Like we out of here coming up. But the problem is this. So Hawaii right now, they currently have a a rule in place where if you're coming from the mainland to Hawaii, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That rule is in effect until June 30th. So my issue is, okay, I need to know ahead of time if we should cancel. So if I cancel now, though, technically from a getting the money back standpoint, it's going to be a little different just because they haven't ruled that rule goes into July. They have it as June 30th. Now, if they come up here next week and say, hey, man, we're going to make this quarantine 14 days mandatory up until July 1st. Well, now, I can say, cancel my trip, give me no money back. And then I go book that trip to go down there for the NASCAR thing. You know what I mean? But until I know what Hawaii's doing, I don't want to take that money out of there to put it over here just yet. So that's my whole dilemma right now.
Real? You'd go down to the NASCAR thing?
Oh, absolutely.
No way.
What? Come on, man. Stop playing with me.
Wait,
when have I ever been a bluffer?
The Hawaii thing, the 14-day quarantine. What do they mean by that? Once you
land there, you're not allowed to go to a grocery store.
Okay.
You're not allowed to go to a beach. You have to go to your place and just stay there for 14 days. If you want anything to eat, you have to order it from like a Grubhub or Uber Eats type thing.
Hawaii needs to get over themselves.
Well, no, this is the thing though. Out of everybody that's had their cases, Hawaii was the smallest amount, which is why they're like,
they want to protect.
Exactly. They're like, nah, you all you deeks out there that don't believe it, all you
outsiders,
all you deeks over there that y'all part of that, just coughing on each other and all that stuff. Y'all stay in the mainland. Y'all not coming over here and messing up what we have. So that's the situation in Hawaii. They were literally. When all the quarantine started happening and stuff like that, they were one of the first ones like, yeah, you're not coming over here, period. They shut down, like they were trying to shut down travel to the island. And then they did shut down travel from the islands, because it's multiple islands in Hawaii, where they were saying you can't go from island to island. They shut that down as well. Like they were legit about it. But when you look at the cases, they had a very, very scarce amount. So that's their whole approach. They're like, man, look, we know what y'all got over there. Y'all not bringing that over here. So until I know how they're feeling about that, because I'm not flying to Hawaii to go sit in a to go sit in a Airbnb or a hotel for 14 days. Like that's not happening. I'll cancel, get my money back first. But I need to know that it's going to last for July. Look, I said July 1. If they say July 1, cool, man. Give me my money back. I'm going to see you at one of these races. I'll be down there with a Kevin Harvick hat, a flannel with no shirt on. Yeah! Like, that's going to be me. All right? So, that's that.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Hopefully.
And it's June 21st. I got him with the obey it's Father's Day. That's what Daddy wants for Father's Day. And then the 22nd, my anniversary. Oh, babe, since we already down here, let's celebrate. Oh, see, I got this, baby. I'm ready. This is strategic.
Wow, dude. Yeah, that would work out then.
It would, bro. Dude. It would. But like I said, man, it depends on what Hawaii's doing. So Hawaii put a little update out there yesterday saying that they're contemplating lifting the ban and all that. Then they also said, this was driving me nuts too. I'm going on a rant right now. They're like, they want the airlines to test every person that flies into Hawaii for COVID-19, or they need to check their temperatures, and the airlines have to be the ones supplying the tests and the thermometers to check the temperatures. I'm like, bro, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing way too much.
Now you're on my side.
No, I'm not on your side.
They got to get over themselves.
No. I'm just simply saying this. If I'm going, and I understand what Hawaii is saying, because if you want to protect what you're doing, absolutely. You're speaking from a situation where you haven't had anybody experience the COVID-19.
No.
It's different if you had somebody that experienced or you saw firsthand and you're like, oh, I know for a fact y'all have had it over here and they trying to come to your house. Would you let somebody from New York City come to your house right now? Probably not. So for them, that's their approach, okay? That's their approach. So it's like, I understand that. But for me, first off, watching how people get tested. Because have you seen the test? Dude, they stick that thing up your nose and down your throat. Holy cow, it's
really
brutal.
Really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're not doing that to me. You're not doing that to me. And not my kids either. It's not happening. So for me, that's the issue. I'm not about to go down that route. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind you test people. That's fine. But for me, I would much rather just keep my money, stay where I'm at, than go that route, personally.
True. Yeah.
So that's that whole situation. You got your
checks and balances. What's more important to you with this decision?
That's that whole thing with that, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Keep us updated. Yeah,
I will, man.
I'm actually interested in this
saga.
Will,
man. Because, when I saw they were putting fans back in, I've already told wifey once I started watching NASCAR, I said, babe, we're going to go to a race, right?
I told you, I don't know if I said it on the mic or not, but my dad used to go here and there, like back in the day. He said it was like the funnest live thing that he's been at.
Yeah.
Like the party experience is awesome. Those RVs in the middle of the track.
Yes. So literally my father-in-law, who was the one who got me into watching it, him and my wife, they used to go when she was growing up. They lived right in Tennessee, outside of Bristol, and they would go to the track all the time. So for me, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to one of these races, period.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, okay, which one of y'all let me into, baby, because I'm there. I don't want to hear it sold out. I'm gonna make some phone calls. Either it's not often that I feel like I gotta exercise my you know what I mean?
I'm Arthur Moats.
Yeah. It's not often I gotta exercise the, hey, yo, call this person to get that taken care of. But for NASCAR, it will happen. That's all I'm saying. Okay, it will happen.
We're excited. Dude.
So that's that. So I'm gonna keep you posted, man. And we're gonna find out what's up with Hawaii, because Hawaii's been like a bucket list name for me. Like I always wanted to go to Hawaii, bro.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah,
had
you want to make it a good experience though. You don't want to force the issue.
Yeah, going there and just sitting in a house,
Yeah.
like I could do that here in Pittsburgh.